Hare Krishna. Welcome all to this very special video. Today, we are going to talk about a very, very special resident here at Govardhan Eco Village. Why? Because today happens to be his birthday. Yes, we are talking about Sri Ganesh ji. In fact, any visitor, anybody who comes to Govardhan Eco Village, the first person they will meet, welcoming everyone right there at the entrance, we have a beautiful shrine of Sri Ganesh ji. Now, Ganesha, as you know, he's a very, very special personality, especially in India. You will see there are so many temples worshipping Lord Ganesha. In fact, in many traditional yajnas, pujas, he's always the first person to be offered respects because he is also known as Vigneshwara, or somebody who actually removes obstacles in the path of a spiritual seeker. And here for us at Govardhan Eco Village, Sri Ganesh ji is very, very special person. In fact, he is one of the earliest residents here. Even before we actually came to this piece of land, almost many years ago, we started this eco village back in 2003. But even prior to us coming here, Ganesh ji was already there. So in a sense, we have been welcomed into his home, and we very lovingly look at him as one of our senior most residents here at Govardhan Eco Village, helping us in our own pursuits, helping us in our service to Mother Nature, our service to the Lord, and of course service to each and every one. He's helping us and in removing the obstacles in our path. And more than that, Ganesh ji holds a very, very special place in hearts of all the residents here, because there is a very special role for which Lord Ganesha is acknowledged for the rest of eternity. This is a beautiful story that is connected to the Mahabharata. So it is described that the author of Mahabharata, Srila Vedavyasa, when he wanted to put in writing the narration of the Mahabharata, he felt that the pace at which he was able to present the text of the Mahabharata, he felt that him writing personally would be an obstacle to the flow of his own thought. So he wanted someone who could act like a scribe, who would narrate the entire Mahabharata as he would be, who would actually write down the entire Mahabharata as he was narrating. So Srila Vedavyasa, the story explains, he went into a deep meditative trance, and then Lord Brahma appeared to him and suggested to him that you should approach Ganesha. One, because he is known as remover of obstacles, and two, he is also an extremely intelligent person. Yes, Lord Ganesha, he is also worshipped not only just for removing of obstacles, but rather he is actually a personification of very refined consciousness. And by worshipping Lord Ganesha, another facet in us which is that element of pure refined consciousness, the ability to look beyond just one's physical or sensual understanding, but rising to the level of understanding of prana, understanding of life, understanding of consciousness, that gets revealed by the blessings of Lord Ganesha. So because he was so intelligent and he removes obstacles, Vedavyasa, he approached Ganeshji, and Ganeshji agreed, but he put a condition saying that, I'm so fast, I'm so expert at writing, you have to narrate the scripture, you have to narrate the Mahabharata in a way that I should never put my pen down, because the moment I put my pen down, right, that means I stop writing. So you have to make sure that I'm sufficiently engaged that I never actually put my pen down. So then Vedavyasa took up the challenge, said, yes, definitely, I will do that. But I have a counter condition. What is that? He says, yes, I will actually narrate in a way that you don't have to put your pen down. But my condition is that you should not write anything without understanding. Whatever I narrate, you should actually understand it and then write it down. Right? And of course, it is described that when uh, Vedavyasa, because he need a breather, right? He can't keep going on and on and on. So sometimes when he need a little breather, he would give a cryptic statement as part of the Mahabharata text, and then Ganeshji would actually take a moment to actually decode it in his very sharp intelligence, in his sharp mind, and then he would actually write it down. And that moment break was enough for Srila Vedavyasa to catch up his breath, right? So that is the very, very special story connected to Ganeshji. So he's the one who has, by whose blessings today we have all these texts. Srila Vedavyasa, he's the title, Vyasa itself means like a compiler, and he's the grand compiler of the Vedas, right? But without the support and blessings of Ganeshji, today we wouldn't have access to all these great literatures. And more so, the most important one, right in the in the heart of this Mahabharata, is the most revered text for all the Vedic followers, which is the Bhagavad Gita. So the entire Bhagavad Gita is right there in the Mahabharata as written by Sri Ganeshji. So that is how important the contribution of Ganeshji is, for in fact, the greatest blessings, if any, we may have to count, is the fact that he has actually helped us in the big grand cosmic plan of having the Bhagavad Gita in a written format, so the generations later are able to access it, are able to meditate upon it, and are able to apply it in their life and improve the quality of their life, right? Of course, as I said earlier, Ganeshji, he is one of the important deities, that is one of the important devas who's worshipped in India in the Vedic fold, right? And there is some very, very special significance about him, right? Because many of us, we know that he has this beautiful form which is very, very unique, because he has the body of a human, right? But he has the face of a nice, beautiful elephant. And what makes him even so special are his four arms, each one giving a very, very, holding a very, very special significance. In one of his arms, he's actually holding what is called a parashu in Sanskritam, or a hatchet. It is described that what does this hatchet, it signifies? What it signifies that by understanding the wisdom of the Vedas, which he has helped in writing, by understanding the Bhagavad Gita, by understanding this Vedic wisdom, it will help in removing the illusion. It will help in remove all the false teachings that may sometimes tend to mislead us in life, and it helps us remove this illusion. So when we look at the form of Ganeshji, when you especially look at his arm and you look at that hatchet in his hand, it should be a reminder to us that we need to take shelter of this wisdom, the Vedic wisdom, that can help us remove this ignorance and avidya, the illusion, from our life, right? And especially protect us from any false teachings. And in another hand, you will notice that he's holding a gourd, also called as an ankusha, which is usually used to control wild animals, especially like an elephant itself, right? So this ankusha also has a very deep significance. It is a symbol of spiritual discipline. It's a symbol of proper training, right? Because in order to take up to this path of Vedic wisdom, right? Yes, we do get the ultimate goal of removing of illusion, but it is not possible without proper discipline. So when we look at the beautiful hand of Ganeshji with the ankusha or that goad in his hand, right? It should be a reminder to us that we should also apply ourselves to this learning process, go through the training properly, and apply spiritual discipline in our life, right? Because without discipline, there is no goal that we can reach, right? And but of course there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, and therefore we will see that in his another hand he has this abhaya hasta mudra, with his palm raised, which is slightly bent inwards, and his palm raised, which is signifying an assurance of providing fearlessness, right? And by the blessings of the Lord Ganesh ji, he is empowered in a very, very special way, that by which he can help remove these obstacles. As I said, he can empower one with spiritual strength, and help remove obstacles in the life of a spiritual seeker. So that abhaya hasta, abhaya means fearlessness. So that mudra that he's showing is like an assurance of fearlessness. Yes, don't worry. If you stick to this proper training, by the Lord's blessings, once obstacles will be removed. So he is giving us that assurance. And then sometimes in his hand you'll also see a modaka. Modaka is a very special kind of a sweet preparation which is very dear to Lord Ganesh ji, and which signifies blessings, right? Prasada means blessings, and we need blessings in our life to accomplish any task. We need the blessings of the Lord to accomplish any kind of a task, whether small or big. So it is a reminder that how we need to always seek blessings from the Lord. And sometimes instead of the modaka, you may also even see what is called as a pasha or a noose, right? A noose is something which is used to control wild animals, right? So likewise, this noose here in the hand of Ganesh ji, it represents that how the lower tendencies within us, the rajas and tamas, the modes of passion, ignorance, these are like animalistic tendencies within us. And in order to restrain those animalistic tendencies, we need to tie them down with a noose. We cannot let the lower side of us overtake us or derail our path towards our higher self. So this noose is symbolic that each and every one of us, as part of our spiritual discipline, we need to apply restraint to our lower tendencies. So this is a very, very beautiful form, that of Ganesh ji, where he's kind of like setting, giving guidelines, setting a trail for all spiritual aspirants, that what should be the ideal characteristic of a spiritual seeker, right? And of course, that is the reason why he's so blessed, that he's worshipped as a remover of obstacles, as a primeval deva who gets the worship in many Vedic rituals and forms of worship, right? Of course, today is a very, very special day. As I said, this is his birthday, Ganesh Chaturthi, the day when it is said that he is born, right? And what can we seek from him? What is the blessing we can ask from him on his birthday? Because it is said that on the birthdays, on the appearance days of great personalities, right, it is good to approach them in a very humble disposition and seek their blessings. So what could be the best blessings we can think of? So if you also notice that Ganesh ji, he is usually seated on his very, very special vehicle, right? A vahana. And what is this vahana, or the vehicle that he uses to travel? That is a tiny little rat, right? Which is also called as a mushika. The word mushika for the rat, it comes from the word musha. Musha means to steal. And rats are infamous for stealing. They enter into a house, they chew into some things, they go into sometimes food granaries and steal the grains, which will literally eat away all the grains. They are kind of tamasic animals. They are in a sense they are very animals in the mode of ignorance, which create pestilence. Rats are infamous for causing plagues, and they are actually a sign of disease and ignorance and all the negative things. But look what Ganesh is doing, right? And true to the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, which he has completely understood, as per Vyasa's condition, he had to understand what he had to write, correct? So true to that spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, Ganeshji is he's showing it as a personal example that look, what is seen as the greatest obstacle, right? That mode of ignorance, that can actually be utilized as something good towards reaching our ultimate goal. A vehicle is a means for us to reach our destination, right? So look what Ganesh is exemplifying by his own personal example, that factually nothing is absolutely bad, but rather it is our attitude with which we look at these situations in life. It is the attitude with which we look at these problems in life. So right now, in this kind of situation that the world is going through, I think this is the best blessings we can ask from Ganesh ji, right? Not just mundane, trivial, worldly pursuits, but rather, we can ask Ganesh ji to bless each and every one of us, to give us that kind of inner strength and determination by which we develop the ability to turn a calamity into an opportunity, right? Because life is always going to throw challenges, life is always going to throw obstacles at us, right? In fact, the Bhagavad Gita begins by giving this instruction. In fact, the entire Vedic wisdom very loudly echoes this one principle, that don't try to avert problems in life, but rather learn to tolerate them and rise above these problems, right? In essence, that is what is the spirit of the Vedic wisdom. It does not talk about escaping from the problems, but rather try to be part of this world, right? And try to address the problem and rise above these problems. Because you cannot change the nature of this world, but we can definitely change our own attitude and our own response to these problems of life. And that is what Ganesh is exemplifying by his Vedic wisdom. And we can all seek blessings of Ganesh on this special day, that may he also bless us by giving us this vision of wisdom, by which we can learn to convert the challenges, the problems, the calamities in our life into wonderful opportunities that will open the pathway for higher wisdom, right? So this was the short little message which I wanted to share on this occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, and of course the launching by seeking blessings of Ganesh ji, we are launching our festival of Vedic wisdom. We hope that you enjoy this festivities, and hopefully very soon you will all get to meet Ganesh ji and participate in various learning opportunities that Govardhan Eco Village has to offer. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.